Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Anna and today we are going to be closing out our February budget. So for our debt, I am excited because we paid off the Best Buy credit card. Yay! So we only have 2 debts remaining. That is going to be our cell phones and our truck. So the balance at the end of February for our cell phones was $667, and the balance of the truck was $29,585. So we are officially under $30,000 for the truck. That gives us a debt total of $30,252. So by the end of March, we should be under $30,000 of debt. Our minimum payment is $70 for the cell phones and $607 for the truck. And then our truck is the only one that has interest, so it is 3.79%. So if I go to our transactions, let me see. So Best Buy is not listed here because the balance is 0, but we did pay on $2.8. We paid $300 towards Best Buy, and then we paid another $300 on $226 to get that $600 total off. So we paid $1,200 towards our debt this month. And our new debt total is $30,252. So let's subtract those. Our debt went down by $1,181. So we want to divide that by our total starting debt. So we paid off 3.4% debt this month. And let's carry this over. So now we're going to look at our overview for the year. This year we have paid down almost $4,300, so $4,298. Divide that by the $3,450, $550. Let me see. So we have paid off 12.4% of our debt this year. Awesome. And so over here, I typically like to do our total payments. This is just the Best Buy and the truck, because our cell phone is actually reflected in our utilities, so it's not included in our debt payments. So for the month, we actually paid $1,200, but our debt only went down $1,181. Yeah, that's not right. Hold on. So for our truck, the balance of the truck last month, was $30,101, and its new balance is $29,585. So it only went down $516, but our payment is $607. So we paid $91 in interest. And for the year, we have actually paid $199 towards interest. Okay, so now let's go to the next page. We are going to list our assets versus our liabilities. So your liabilities are going to be anything that you owe. And so we're basically going to relist our cell phone and the truck. So cell phone, we still owe $667, and our truck was at $29,585. So our total liabilities are $30,252. So for our assets, we are going to list out all of our cash basically you have on hand, any money that you have, or anything you can sell for cash. So you could also list your truck as an asset. I choose not to. So we are just going to list out all of our budget, or all of our bank accounts, sorry. So we have Chase checking, okay, and so our total assets were $76.21. So if I take our net worth of $76.21 minus the $30,252, $252. We have a negative net worth of $22,631. So the difference between these two is $22.24, and even though these are negatives, our net worth technically went up because we owe less and have increased our assets. So now we want to do this change divided by our last month's net worth, which was $24,855. Let's do so our net worth increased by 8.9%. Okay, so on this sheet, you typically can look at each of your budget categories and determine whether you stayed in budget or not. I really only track our groceries, our dining out, and our household, because those are the three that I primarily look at to see if we are staying within our budget. So I'm going to pull up my savings tracker again. So our starting balance is the money we had rolling in from January. So that was $766.10. In the month of February, we earned $6,255.51. For other income, we have $2,683.42. We used $360 worth of savings. So for the three of those, let me rearrange right quick. We had a total monthly inflow of $10,065.03. So we've got groceries, dine out, and household. I try to stay within 600 of groceries. Dining out, I have a unrealistic expectation of 160, which I will be increasing for March. So hopefully we can bring down our dining out drastically. So, and our household budget is $400 a month. So in the month of February, for groceries, we spent $770. So we were up by $170. For dining out, we spent $747. So we were over budget by $587. Ouch. For household spending, we spent $437. So we were up by $37. So we were over budget this month in all three of these categories. So our spending for this month in groceries was $770 divided by the 10,065. It was about 8% of our budget. For dining out, it's going to be probably around the same. We spent $747. So this was like 7%. And then household was only about 4%. So from this, you can tell that eating food, groceries, any kind of beverages is taking up about 15% of our income. So let's go to the next worksheet, and it is your debt versus savings. So for our total monthly inflow, it is the 10,063. We paid $1,200 towards our debt. So about 12% of our income went towards debt. So we had Best Buy, and we paid $600 towards that, and then the truck, we also paid $600 towards that. So you can tell these already are going to be an equal 50%. So half went to Best Buy, half went to truck. So my plan for March is to continue to save. So we put $600 towards Best Buy, but I had really allocated about $200 per month to get this paid off. So I'm going to allocate $200 still of our budget to go towards the cell phones so that we could start paying those off. And so for savings, you only want to do your total monthly income. So that is going to be the $62.56. And we saved. So another note while I'm trying to close out my budget is that my savings totals and my bank transactions are not adding up to how much I'm actually saving. So I keep pulling cash out of the cash I have on hand already and then replacing what's in my bank account with the money from the cash and then reallocating that cash. And so I'm missing that line transaction for a cash withdrawal to add to our savings. And so I may be taking money back to the bank and then actually withdrawing money every month so that I have that transaction to say this is how much we saved this month. I hope that makes sense. Because I know for our 10K savings challenge, we saved about $730. And then I should have saved at least another, I want to say close to like another $800 maybe towards our sinking funds, because we also saved for our 1 month ahead. We saved for Christmas and then taxes. So we added to all those accounts, but it's not reflected in my bank statements. So I think I kind of want to maneuver it to where I'm actually withdrawing cash. So based off the bank transactions, I only have $835 reflected as savings. And I know it's more than that, so. But we're just going to go with what it says for now. Did I do that right? 885 divided by 6256. So 13% of our budget went towards savings. And so if I go ahead and give 730 of that to our 10K, that only leaves me with 105 left. And I know, just even based on the two high yield savings accounts, we put $200 in towards that because they're automatically withdrawn. So I'm just going to put other right here. And so 12% of the other So that means 88% went towards the 10K savings challenge, which makes sense because we're allocating more money towards the 10K savings than we are the majority of our sinking funds. So that is the breakdown for our debt and savings. With Chase, I'm not sure what they're doing. They've actually closed 2 Chase banks that are close to my house. And then the third one is in the middle of a whole bunch of construction. So it's like not easy to go to the bank. I have to go out of my way to go to the bank. And so we're going to have to figure something else out there. But now we can go to our where did my money go for our monthly spending comparison. So last month, our total monthly inflow was $10,050. This month it was not much different, $10,063. So our budget went up by $13. And I have already written out our last month's spending, so we just have to write down this month's spending. So for February, for our car spending, we spent $471. For debt, we applied $1,200. Dining out was $747. Entertainment was $61. We did not have any event spending. Giving was $780. Groceries was $770. Home expenses $1637. Medical we had $65. My personal spending was $273. Our son's expenses were $106. My husband's spending was $496. Preschool was $688. Savings was $835. Utilities were $443. And our rollover for next month is $14.92. So if all is well, this should equal $10,063. $10,064. So that is probably going to be rounding. And so that is it, y'all. Oh, sorry, not it. We're gonna do the change in amounts. So now, I think this may be my favorite part, is seeing where we were over and under. So let's do the badge first so we can end it with a good note. So our dining out went up $65, which is not too bad, but overall I would love for this to come down. Our groceries was up $317, which is odd, but that's okay. Our home expenses were up $93. Medical was up $65. My son's spending was up $74. My husband's spending was up $203. Preschool was up $103. Our savings went down $725, and our utilities were up. So it looks like most of these are high, but we were down in car expenses. We contributed more to debt, so that's a win. Our entertainment was down. We didn't spend any in events. And our giving went down, which technically my spending went down. We were not able to contribute as much to giving, so I typically do that as a red. So February looks like it was a high spending month for us. So for March, it's a new opportunity to do better. So I have increased our spending for dining out, but I still want to keep it down. So I think I'm budgeting about $320, maybe $350 towards dining out, and seeing if we can stay within that budget. But we will have to keep looking at our budget to, save more. Our goal is to save, and so we need to really think about when we want to spend money, if it's worth it. So the question always is it a want versus a need? Or what are you getting now that you're delaying yourself from getting later? So big questions to ask ourselves while we are closing out our budget and hopefully changing some things to have better results in the next month. So thank y'all for watching this video, and I will see y'all in my next one. Bye.